Hi, I'm Pat Baer, and this is Pat Baer's Anime Club. This is an ongoing series where I explore different topics and themes in the wide world of anime. But this one's a little different because I joked about it and decided let's make that a reality. That's right, it's Pat Baer's Manga Club. We're doing it. We're going there. I'm going to talk about four manga that I really enjoy that you might like. Now, the world of manga is vast and is old as time. I don't actually have facts about manga to tell you other than you know it, you understand it. It's right to left, and you read the book backwards. And it's been many companies have put out their English translations. Sometimes they are faithful direct translations. Other times they are, of course, changed and kidified, and all that kind of stuff. Fans translations exist even to this day because while a lot of shows that get made into anime get licensed. It's actually, there are always some shows that don't find a home on a streaming service, but there's so much manga that just never sees an outside of Japanese audience and doesn't get translated. There's just a lot of manga. But we're going to talk about four that are available in English, and you can pick them up. Now, first and foremost, I'm not sponsored by Shonen Jump or Viz or any of these companies, but there are apps. And maybe you don't want to go and, I was about to say you don't want to go to a comic book shop. Maybe you don't want to put orders in with your local comic book store. And maybe your local comic book store doesn't carry that much manga. Maybe they have a few things, but they're not really into trades, the trade back paperbacks, and all of that. They're not really doing collections. They're not doing the graphic novels that you need because you want to get all of Dragon Ball Z. Well, you can order online, certainly, but also there are apps, and they're good apps, and I recommend them. If you have a premium Crunchyroll, the Crunchyroll app has some stuff. For me personally, there's nothing on there. There is like one thing on there I want to read. It's not really their main bread and butter, so it's not a thing that I really gravitate toward. But a Restaurant in Another World, I enjoy that. Manga, so I read it on Crunchyroll. There are a few other pieces here and there that I get, but mostly it's because of the other apps. So, explore, look for them, find them. I'm going to talk about four that I really like, and I tried to mix it up. Now, two of these are food manga, but they're different approaches to the food manga, but I did try to break these up a little bit. So, let's get into My Hero Academia. Not a food manga, obviously. This is the one that basically pays. The reason why I have a Shonen Jump subscription is to watch, or is because I enjoyed watching. I'm flubbing my words here, and I apologize for that. I enjoyed watching the anime so much, and so a thing happens sometimes. Manga readers, they don't like the anime adaptation because there are fans that come in and they only know the anime and they don't want to hear about the manga, or they don't read the manga, they only like the anime. I'm not that. I'm an anime fan first and foremost. I usually go and start watching, or start reading. I keep saying watching. Start reading the manga because I watch the anime. I don't start with the manga. Uh, so I'm not that way. But sometimes those folks will spoil something. And a thing happens with Deku in the future that was so intriguing and cool to me that I was like, well, that's going to be a while before I can watch that. Like, obviously, no spoilers on my end, but I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that now. I'm going to go get that and read that and enjoy that. That's what I'm going to do. And that is what I did. And it's great. I think that the art, fight scenes in anime, sometimes are incredible and sometimes seem like they're cost cutting. And in the manga, you're really getting the facial expressions, you're really getting the story. I think the anime does a great job. I think the anime's filler is actually good. But there's something about this manga that I really do enjoy. And it's a great story, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Now, obviously, when we're talking about modern manga, there is delays, just like just about everything else. So but things that have a lot of episodes or a lot of issues, the same way in the last video I talked about, some long running anime you could watch. long-running manga, so you got a lot to read and go for it. But yeah, I highly recommend My Hero Academia. It's a great story and it's told really well. And I think the illustrations are really well done, and I highly recommend. Also, My Hero Academia is a way in for some people, in a similar way to One Punch Man is a way in for people that maybe don't think that manga or shonen is for them. Well, it's a school superheroes thing. It's the X-Men, but it's Japanese. But I mean, there's a love for our kind of comics here, and yeah, it just grows. You can just see it. I really really enjoy it, and I recommend you checking it out. And let's talk about our next video. Or sorry, next manga. I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry. Delicious in Dungeon. Now, this is kind of interesting because this series has not been picked up for an anime. It is one of the few manga that I've read that does not have an anime adaptation. There's been talk of it, but of course everything is in disarray. But even before that, I'm not necessarily sure that was coming out. So this is one of the two books I'm going to be talking about that involves cooking. This one, obviously, it takes a take on it. You can see it right away. Well, so you see that red dragon in the background there? That red dragon messed up this guy's party. Whole party got messed up, right? All but one of them got away because his sister teleported them away, and she got swallowed by this dragon. She's not dead, though. She's more like kidnapped because it's going to take a month before the dragon digests her. So the members of this party have a month to go and fight this dragon and save his sister. But well, it's going to take time to do that. They lost all their money, they lost all their supplies in this, getting whomped by this dragon. They're not going to be able to do that normally, because normally dungeon, you get so far, you stop, go back to the surface, you get resupplied, you get your food, you go back in. That's going to take too long. They don't have that kind of time. So what do? They get inventive, and they start capturing monsters, defeating monsters, and then eating those monsters, which is a thing that people didn't do. They even meet a guy, you can see him in the photo there with the cool-ass beard. That's what he's all about. And they're like, yeah, we're into this. So they develop a new party. They're going they're going to make this rescue. They're going to do this thing, and they're going to learn a lot about cooking and a little bit about themselves along the way. And it's great. I think it's fantastic. It is a very interesting take on both cooking manga and adventuring fantasy manga. All of the collections, the volume collections, have this style that look like they are D&D type manuals. So if you're a fan of classic Dungeons and Dragons and that, especially very early stuff, the Monster Manual, this show wears that, or this book wears that love like on its sleeve. So this also might be something if you don't think traditional manga is for you. This might be something you can check out. Speaking of traditional manga may not be for you, Dorohedoro might not be for you because it's fucked up. Now, you're saying to yourself, Pat, Dorohedoro isn't for you, though, is it? And the answer to that is, sometimes it is. Like, I do enjoy weird stuff on occasion. Things like the Max with 2 X's. Like, I can get into something weird. I've been known. It's not my forte, but if it's good, I can appreciate it. Really, honestly, I started reading Dorohedoro because of the deal with the anime. That it was Netflix of Japan licensed it, and there was no U.S. license because, well, turns out Netflix has it, but didn't announce that. It just was coming out weekly in Japan, but it wasn't coming out on any of the normal streaming services internationally. And now, come to find out, it is coming out soon. So, if you're watching this after June of 2020, you've watched it legally. So I was intrigued by it. It looked cool. I was watching some art. I was watching maybe a couple clips on YouTube of it. I was seeing what was going on with this show, and I was intrigued by it. It's gritty. It's dirty. Um, the creator, Q, has been accused of not being a good artist, which I disagree with, but has their own style, and it's a very interesting, strange show. And I know that some of it isn't necessarily narrative focused, and it goes all over the place. And I haven't read all of it. It's done. I believe it just wrapped up with 23 volumes. I want to say maybe 26. So I have ways to go. I'm taking my time with it because it is a dense read, and sometimes it is unpleasant. The explicit content warning you see there, I think, is accurate. So take that, if you will. Maybe you want to check out the anime a little bit, see a little bit of the imagery there, watch some clips on YouTube before you make your decision about this. But if you're looking for something a little gritty, a little dark, I think Dorohedoro is a easy recommendation. And that brings us to our fourth book or series. And this is probably, honestly, even more than Dorohedoro, this is a weird recommendation, people might think. Oishinbo is a really old, long series. Now, it's so vast that most of the time, if you're trying to read it in English, you're getting the collections, which you can see here is all the various collections that are done in short stories. This is like, I don't want to say that it is the first foodie manga, but it is certainly before that became a huge thing. I mean, it's so dated. You can understand that the premise will date this 1983. So this started 3 years after I was born, and I am old. So it's been around a really long time. It was out for a very, very long time. Then it stopped. Then it came back, and then it stopped again because it's a manga about food, but then they were talking about the poor response to a nuclear disaster, and people were like, "Hey, you're being mean," and they were like, "Yeah, this is suspended." And then eventually the guy's like, "I got to stop doing this because I've been doing it for 30 years." And so apparently it is going to come back and then wrap up, supposedly. But it's been going on for such a long time, and they said, very obvious because the premise is, imagine a world where newspaper columnists, reviewers of food, were a big deal. And they used to be, and they are in this book, because this is about discovering new foods and, the best of traditionals. It's trying to build a menu. It's a rivalry between a father and son, rival newspaper columnist. There's a love story involved that's slow going and ages over time, and it's surprising in nature, and it's a lovely tribute. It is informative. It is trying to be honest and earnest. It is for folks that are not particularly well versed in Japanese cuisine culture. It's a great look at it, but it's also like a good reflection of the times of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and the teens, of like the food and food prep and trends. And it's one of the books is called, it's a collection of awesome rice stuff, and it's called The Joy of Rice. Like, that is the English name of the collection of these shorts. It is a love letter to food and being impressed with hard work and dedication. I highly recommend it, especially because, as I said, there's a lot of it. And, track it down. I'll have a listing on YouTube in the show description of the shows I talked about tonight. I'm recording this at night. Whenever you watch this, maybe you watch this in the morning, maybe you're going to watch this in the afternoon. Wherever you watch this, as I said, I'm not necessarily a manga person. There are series that I love where I have never read the manga. Maybe someday I will. Maybe I'll get into New Game and read the manga because I love the anime so much. There are plenty of shows out there. I did read all of Dragon Ball. Maybe someday I'll read all of Super. I'll read the manga of that, even because I did like the anime of it. But especially with apps, it's like it's certainly possible. Just take a look at it. If you're thinking, I have this iPad and I really should use it, but I don't go anywhere. Sit in your living room, read some manga. Uh, in the comments below, let me know about your favorite books. Is there a series that really spoke to you? Did you read all of Flame of Recca or Rave Master, or you can't get enough of I don't know what's something, is it a Shonen Jump series? Is it a series, a long running drama that you love so much that you get to see characters grow and change and really like find themselves? Let me know in the comments below your favorite manga, and if you have any suggestions of things you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. I'm welcome to hearing ideas. I think my next video might be about pet peeves, both in anime and in the world of liking anime. Maybe I'm going to rant about anime fans. Maybe I won't rant about anime fans so much about anime. Talk about tropes, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. Pet peeves, tropes. If you want to hear that, let me know in the comments. If you have something you'd like to hear about, maybe you'd like another explainer about a genre. Maybe I can really start talking about shoujo or something. Like, let me know. I'd be willing to hear your thoughts. And I hope you're doing okay out there. You mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching this video. And I'll see you on the next Pat Bear's Anime Club, because I'm not doing another one of these for a while, probably. Bye-bye.